Welcome to Ecstatic Yoga. I am Grace. So happy that you are here today. You can check out ecstaticyoga.studio for information on our yoga teacher trainings. We are in week 7 of the teacher training, and we're going to be practicing the Surya Namaskara C. We'll go through one time kind of slowly with breath, and we'll move into some flows and then add some variations into the flow. Let's begin. And remembering this week, we're really focusing on self-love and praising ourselves, complimenting ourselves, acknowledging all the good that we do. Often the inner critic can bring up all the things that we're doing wrong. And we're going to focus this week on really talking to ourselves and acknowledging ourselves for everything that we're doing that's right, and acknowledging ourselves for even the little things. And we're on a Santosha, the second niyama Santosha, which is contentment. So we're bringing that sense of contentment with our lives just exactly as they are and as they aren't. Sometimes that's the hardest. We don't have this, we don't have that, or things aren't this way or that way. But can we be content with what we do have and the way that our life is, and knowing that it changes, and this moment in our life will never come back exactly as it is. So we can be grateful and content here now, knowing that there's always more to come and the best is yet to come. And we're always being blessed by the universe. And our mindfulness focus is using our eyes to gaze at an object as an anchor. So we'll be using that through this pose, using the eyes anchoring in on a spot and through our breath. So taking a moment to center yourself and ground yourself, feeling that earth underneath you supporting your body, acknowledging you are safe, you are secure right here, right now. And our focus this week is on this Annamaya Kosha, this physical sheath, this physical layer, this physical body that we have, this body temple, this sacred body temple. And taking a moment to really acknowledge this physical aspect of our being, feeling our body in time and space, noticing how it feels to be in this physical body right here in this moment in time. And moving from the Annamaya Kosha to the Pranamaya Kosha, bringing some breath into the belly, expanding as we stay fully grounded in the physical. We can just expand into this second layer of our being, the Pranamaya Kosha, the breath, and scanning this aspect of ourselves, the energy, the aliveness, moving even into Pratyahara, that withdrawing from the external, and bringing that attention inward, noticing the aliveness within your body, this presence that dwells within you. And we'll be maintaining these deep belly breaths throughout the practice as we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response, releasing health-building hormones. And taking a moment to set a personal intention for yourself, and seeing that in a little mental rehearsal as you feel all the feelings of that intention right here, right now. And releasing that intention with a this or better, this or better, this or better. The universe has something better for us. We're okay. We're okay with that. So let's come up to a standing position and shaking the body out a little bit. It's up in the screen. Shaking the body out. I'm going to move this up a little bit. Perfect. Let's do some twists, warming up that spine, some gentle twists. Beautiful. Let's can bring the hands to the hips and just make some nice big circles with your pelvis. Feel all the beautiful sensations. Keeping that breath in the belly flowing. Maybe stopping on a spot or two to massage those muscles and going the other direction, making sure to go both ways, noticing the difference when you move the other direction, the sensations that shift and change, keeping that breath flowing. Beautiful. And coming back to center. And we're going to come to the front of our mat. Feet are hip width apart. So you can take those fists and make sure you're about hip width apart. If you need blocks, you can bring some blocks here for some of our lunges. Remembering we always back off if there's any pain. We're not supposed to feel any pain in yoga. We like to play the edge. So it's like a rubber band, you know, it's not loosey-goosey, but we're not stretching it out so it's going to snap. We're just at that nice 7, allowing our body to gently play an edge. So we'll feel that and we'll over time become more and more flexible and we don't injure the body. And if you need to take any breaks, feel free to take a break. We're going to move into our loops. So feeling ankle loop, feeling the lift of the arch, feeling the calves engage in your shin loop. We're bringing our body into alignment. Feel the quadriceps. The knees will lift and the quadriceps engage. Thigh loop. Pelvic loop. Feel that pelvis come right back to neutral. Kidney loop. Feeling a lift of the ribs. Shoulder loop coming up between the lips and back. So you're going to feel the chin come back a little, the shoulders come back, and then it goes down the back. So you feel those shoulders drop down. And then, of course, our crown loop. We lift the crown. Beautiful job. And let's inhale as we come up into an extended mountain. You might feel a nice little internal rotation of the upper thigh. Let's move into a back bend. Taking a breath here, a full breath here. Your next inhale, moving a little deeper into that back bend. And then on the exhale, coming back to neutral and hinging at those hips. Spine is straight, we're just hinging at the hips, coming all the way down to the earth. And moving into a nice forward fold pose, taking a breath here. Can engage those bandhas. You can grab those elbows if you like for a little more deeper forward fold. Let's inhale into half forward fold. One more breath here. And releasing down. And bringing the hands so the thumbs are close to those little pinky toes. And we'll bring that right leg back behind us. And moving into a lunge. The feet, the foundation the feet are both 90 degrees pointing towards the front of the mat. And they are parallel. like railroad tracks. So that's our foundation. Nice wide stance. And then we're going to start the alignment, bringing that knee right over, front knee over the front ankle, squaring those hips. Feel this back thigh engaged, back heels reaching down towards the earth, and bringing the hands up. Find that point in front of you to gaze at as a focus as we move into a few breaths. Engaging the bandhas and bring in that prana and that breath. On your next inhale, reaching the fingertips up. On the exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to the earth and move into downward facing dog, bringing that left leg back. And remembering with your hands, you can spread those fingers out into spider. You can move up into teacup or your fists to protect the wrists. And feeling those heels coming down to the earth. Engaging the bandhas, and let's breathe in our down dog for a couple breaths. You can find a spot in front of you can gaze at. Anchor the mind. Single point of focus. And one more breath. We move into plank. I like to adjust my foundation, widen my stance a little bit, coming into plank. Notice what you need to do. Finding a beautiful plank, taking a breath here. You can drop those knees if you like. And we're going to drop the knees, the chin and the chest as we move into chaturanga. And then swooping into our up dog. Feeling that nice back bend. Find that point in front of you to gaze at. Anchoring the mind in single point of focus as you engage the bandhas and breathe. One more breath. On your next inhale, curling those toes under, moving back into your downward facing dog. Maybe a little walking the dog. Like a kitty cat fur. One heel at a time down towards the earth, opposite knee bends in. And breathe. Coming back to center. And look between your hands, and you can walk, step, or take a little jump with that right foot between the hands. We're moving into a high lunge on the other side. So again, foundation is the same. Feet are hip width apart. They're 90 degrees, pointing towards the front of the mat. Nice wide stance. Back heels coming down towards the earth. Beginning with that alignment, squaring the hips, bringing the knees right over the ankle. Arms are up, shoulders are relaxed down. Engage the bandhas. Find your point in front of you, your anchor, a drishti that you can gaze at. And breathe. Next inhale, reaching the hands up. On the exhale, bringing the hands down. You can bend the knees as much as you need or use a block in your forward fold. Your block, you can do that. Bend the knees. Just relaxing in your forward fold for a couple breaths. Maybe relaxing that neck and that head a little. Next inhale, half forward fold, coming up halfway. You can even have fingertips on the earth, or you can bring the hands on the shins just below the knees. Feeling a nice extension of the spine. Breathe. And releasing back down in one breath. Your next inhale, we're going to lift the head first. You can bring the hands to the hips or giant angel wings as you hinge up. We're going to do 2 sun salutations to breath together. Inhaling into your extended mountain. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, half forward fold. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling into a lunge. Low lunge is always an option. Exhaling into downward facing dog. Inhale into up dog. Exhaling down dog. Inhaling back into your lunge. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, half forward fold. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling into our mountains. Do one more to the breath to flow. One more full breath. On your exhale, exhaling into forward fold. Inhaling half forward fold. Exhaling forward fold. Inhaling lunge. Exhaling down dog. Inhaling up dog. Exhaling down dog. Inhaling high lunge with left foot up. And exhaling forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhaling half forward fold. Exhaling forward fold. And inhaling, lifting the head and the heart, coming all the way up into our mountain. Little extended mountain. Coming back to center in your mountain. Let's move into some half moon lateral movements of the spine. We're going to move into one more Surya Namaskara C with some variations. Keeping that breath flowing. Coming back to center. exhaling down into your forward fold. And here we are in our forward fold. Lots of little variations we can do. I really love the twist. We did that last time. Twists are really good they work this Anamaya kosha, the digestive system. So finding a gentle twist. One more breath here. Twist on the other side. And back to center. Half forward fold. Back down into forward fold. Grab those elbows or the calves. We're going to move into our lunge. So we're going to go into low lunge, bringing that right leg back behind and dropping the knee. You need to put a blanket under your knee. If you have any knee issues, feel free to do that, to put a blanket under your knee. And we're going to begin moving in our lunge rocks. Lunging forward as you feel those hips sink down towards the earth. Opening up the hips. Nice little stretch and opening. And then lunging to straighten that front leg out. You can flex and extend the front foot. And notice all the beautiful sensations in that front leg. Keeping that breath flowing. We'll take a few moments in a nice little spontaneous flow. Lunging back and forth at your own pace. Being in your own experience. Noticing the sensations in your body. Keeping that breath flowing. Coming back to center. And while we're here, we can add a little hip opening. So we'll add a pigeon in here. So that left foot is already in front. So we can take that left leg and bend it. Bringing it in front. And maybe even taking that back leg back a little bit. Feeling a real nice opening in this right hip. And taking a couple breaths here as you're upright and feel that hip sinking down towards the earth, opening, stretching, releasing. And then coming down, feeling all new sensations as you move the body. And breathe. And on your next inhale, coming back up. And we're going to come into a table for a moment. And let's Move into a little cat-cow. Bring in vitality into the spine. Moving it, keeping it flexible and young. You're in your cat, your beautiful Halloween cat inflection. You can bring those hips back and bring a nice stretch to the lower back. And maybe you want to go side to side, or maybe make some circles with the hips. Keeping the breath flowing. Beautiful. And let's come forward. You and your cow. You might even want to move all the way forward into our up dog again. Taking a few moments, working your own flow, your own rhythm. Cat, cow, table, flowing. Enjoying this Anamaya Kosha, all the sensations in this physical body, this physical sheath. And coming back to center in your table. And we're going to curl the toes under, press into the hands, straighten the legs, lift the hips into your downward facing dog. Maybe a couple petals, walking the dog. We're going to move into a three-legged dog. So we're going to bring that right leg out behind us, bending the knee. And then if you'd like to open up, it's a nice little hip opener to open up to that right side. Both arms are supporting the entire body. Fingers can be spread. Engage the bandhas and breathe. You can find a spot, that dristi, to gaze at with your eyes. One more breath. And you can release down on the exhale. Beautiful job. We're going to go to the other side in a minute. We're going to move into our plank position, and you can drop the knees. I love the variation for this. It's to invite a couple push-ups if you'd like. Strengthening the arms. Or you can just come right down to the floor. When we're down on the floor, I'm going to move into a couple back strengtheners. First thing is baby cobra. So the hands are right underneath you. Let's see. A little more of the floor. So the hands are right underneath the shoulders. Elbows are in towards the body. And we're going to be coming up in baby cobra using these back muscles with very little weight on the hands. And breathe. And on your next exhale, coming down. And turning the head to one side or the other and taking a couple breaths break. Noticing the sensations in your body. Noticing how your Annamaya Kosha is doing, your physical body temple. And coming back to center, going to bring the arms out alongside and feel that pelvis press into the earth. That's our foundation where we're connected to the earth. Exhaling completely. On the next inhale, lifting the legs, the arms, the head, and the heart. Beautiful. Locust. Sometimes I call it bird. And breathe. One more breath. And releasing down. Beautiful job. And let's turn the head to the other side. Connecting with the earth and the earth energy, letting it be absorbed by your body. Your body is like a sponge. And coming back to center, bringing the hands by your side and pushing yourself back up into a table pose. And we're going to take that right leg and bring it forward between the hands and begin to lunge forward with the hips on this side, feeling those hips sink down, opening up the left hip. And lunging back as you straighten that front leg, flexing and extending the front foot. And finding your flow. Deeply connected to the physical body, the Annamaya Kosha. Keeping that breath flowing. And coming back to center, and we're going to move into a pigeon on this side. So we'll bend that right knee, bringing that knee forward, and that left leg might come back a little bit to open up the hip a little more, and balancing up. So we don't want to be falling down on our hips. We be balancing up. And breathe. And coming down. Feeling the different sensations. And breathe. Even when you're down, if you like to use a drishti to gaze at. And I realized we kind of skipped our downward facing dog. So we're going to move back into downward facing dog. You can move into table first. Curl the toes under, lifting those hips up. And let's kick that left leg out behind us. Bend that left knee and open up to the left side. And breathe. One more breath here. And coming down. End of that exhale. And we'll bring that right leg up. We've already been in our lunge, so we'll bring both legs up, moving into a nice forward fold, maybe hanging a little bit. As you grab the elbows, if you want to bring your hands on your back, maybe moving into a nice little standing mudra, standing yoga mudra. Honoring that heart. Releasing your forward fold, moving into half forward fold. Back into your forward fold. And let's roll our way up into mountain. Allowing those vertebrae to stack from those lower vertebrae to the upper vertebrae one at a time. Allowing the neck and the cervicals and the head to come up very last. And we're going to come to a seated position here. And taking a moment to notice this physical body, this Annamaya Kosha, any of the sensations from that Surya Namaskara C flow. Noticing the energy and the aliveness in your body. Beautiful job. Let's see the time here. Perfect. Okay, we are gonna come down onto our. Let's do a couple hip openers, and then we'll come down onto our back. Feeling Baddha Konasana, and just flapping those butterfly wings. Feeling the back lengthen as those butterfly wings slow down. Deep inhale, long spine, and on the exhale, hinging forward. Feeling the opening of those hips. And taking one breath as you hold this beautiful edge. And then see if you can hinge a little bit deeper. And if you like, you can round the spine. Take a few breaths into this Baddha Konasana forward fold. On your next inhale, coming up. Opening up the legs, coming up into a nice wide stance. And let's take the torso and face that left foot. So we're going to square the body a little bit. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, hinging forward. And find your forward fold. You may want to massage that foot if you can. And taking a couple breaths, drawing that energy inward. Next inhale, coming up. And turning to face the right foot, squaring the body a little bit so that you're facing it. If you'd like, you can inhale, bring those arms up. What I like to do, though, is you start to forward fold. You can bring the hands either to your heart or your hips, because the tendency sometimes is to let the hands go a little ahead, and then that puts weight on the low back. So I like to not take any chances with my low back, especially if you're going to be doing yoga every day. Find that gentle edge there, taking a breath. Seeing if you can hinge a little deeper in the hip, and then rounding the spine, and breathe. And one more breath. And let's inhale, coming up. And we're all ready for a nice hip opener, a fire log. So let's take that right leg, line that shin up with the long edge of your mat. And we're going to be flexing the feet so you can even start flexing that right foot. And we'll bring the left ankle to line right up with the left knee. And the right ankle is just below the left knee. So the left ankle's on the right knee, lined up in the right knee. The left knee is lined up with the right ankle. And feeling that. You can put a little cushion in this area here or a block. Always kind of hoping over time that by letting that just hang, I can increase a little flexibility in this hip. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, lengthening the spine, and exhale, hinging forward. And notice all those beautiful sensations. Notice those sensations in the physical body, flexing both feet, and the hips, pelvis, and breathe. You want to have a point in front of you you're gazing at. Our drishti, our focus, our single point of focus. One more breath. And inhale, coming up. Beautiful job. Let's open up those legs and move to the other side. So we're going to bend that left leg first. Flex that left foot. Taking the right leg, right ankle over the left knee, lining everything up. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. And exhaling, hinging forward. Noticing the sensations in this physical Anamaya Kosha, this body temple. And breathe. You can have your drishti gazing at a point, an object. Beautiful hip opener. One more breath here. Next inhale, coming back up and releasing those legs. Let's move them around a little bit. Flop them around. Beautiful job. I saw some hearts come up earlier. Thank you for those. It's hard for me to see who does it, but I really appreciate it. Okay, we are going to come down onto our backs, and why don't we do a couple spinal rocks? And if you don't have a soft enough surface, just coming down gently onto your back. And once we get down, we'll do a supine pigeon, bringing the left ankle to rest just above the right knee, lifting that right leg up, clasping the hands behind the right hamstring and gently pulling that right leg into the body. Noticing the sensations in that left hip. Finding a drishti, maybe the sky, the clouds, or the ceiling. Engage the bandhas and breathe, basking in the sensations. And one more breath. And releasing down. We'll move over to the other side, resting that right ankle above the left knee, lifting the left leg up, clasping the hands behind the left hamstring, and gently pulling that left leg in, feeling the opening, and breathe. One more breath. Beautiful, and releasing that leg. We'll move into some hip releases, our hula. As we swivel those hips, sacrum's flat on the earth. And one hip comes up, the other reaches down. Coming back to center, moving into hip pointers, pointing one hip at a time up towards the sky. And coming back to center, moving into a little cat-cow. And moving around a little bit, finding last little bits of movements, maybe that double knee drop or single knee drop. Making any last poses or movements before we move into Savasana. And finding yourself comfortable Savasana pose. You need to put a sweatshirt on or socks or put a blanket over you or an eye pillow. Take care of yourself so that you can really sink deep into this Savasana. Becoming aware of the physical body, the Annamaya Kosha, letting it sink down into the earth, allowing it to be held safely by this planet. You bring your awareness of the physical body 360 degrees. You are safe, you are embodied, you're supported. And the invitation is to dive deeply into the depths of your heart, infinite depths of your being. Allow this practice to integrate and be absorbed on all levels, physically, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. And I will bring you back. Taking a nice deep breath into the belly as you begin to come back, nice and slowly. Deep belly breaths, wiggling the fingers and the toes, coming back into full present moment awareness of this Annamaya Kosha, stretching the arms and legs. And when you're ready, rolling over to one side or the other. And gently and kindly coming up to a seated position. Okay. We have a few minutes. So we are going to move into, I'm going to be moving more into full yoga practices. So we do the asana, move into our savasana, but then conclude with a little bit of breath work and short meditation. So we don't have too much time. So I'd like to maybe do a little balancing pranayama, little samavriti and nadi shodhanam. So Samavriti is the box breathing. We'll start with that, and then we'll balance the whole system, the nadis and the right and left brain, the nervous system with our Nadi Shodhana. So we're going to start with a couple counts of 4 and then a couple with 6. So exhaling the breath completely. Inhaling 2, 3, 4. Pause the breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 2, 3, 4. Pause 2, 3, 4. Inhaling 2, 3, 4. Pause 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 2, 3, 4. Pause 2, 3, 4. Moving to 6. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pausing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pausing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let everything go. And take a couple integrated breaths, noticing the body, the Annamaya Kosha, the Pranamaya Kosha, the aliveness. We will do a little Nadi Shodhanam. So we're going to use Vishnu Mudra. That is when my pointer and middle finger are either touching my third eye. I'm using the thumb and the ring finger or the pinky to alternately close off the nostrils. Or I can take these and I can curl them in and use the thumb and forefinger to alternately close off the nostrils. I'm using my right hand. So when I use my thumb, I'll be closing off my right, the right nostril. So let's exhale completely. Inhale. And then bring the thumb to the right nostril, closing that off and exhaling out the left side. Inhaling the same side, the left nostril. We always switch on the exhale. So I'm going to release the right nostril. I'm going to bring the finger to close the left and exhale out the right side. Inhale, same side. Releasing the finger, closing off the right, exhaling through the left. Inhale left. We're switching on the exhale, releasing the thumb, closing off the left nostril and exhaling out the right. Continuing on your own, remember to switch on the exhale. One more time on either side. And on your final exhale, just letting the hand go and relaxing the hands on your legs. Maybe finding a mudra if you like. You could be chin where the pinky and thumb are touching. The other hands are resting. You could be a pikina. All the fingers are touching. And we'll move into a short meditation. And I invite you, if you'd like, to open up your eyes and find a point as for your single point of focus to anchor the mind. And a couple more breaths. Maintaining that anchor, that single point of focus. And closing your eyes and scanning the body, noticing any shifts, moving from noticing the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body, to noticing the energy, the aliveness, the emotions, everything that's going on within you. And bring yourself back to that intention that you set, beginning of practice. Feeling the emotions, seeing it in vivid detail. And when you're ready, releasing your intention with a this or better, and coming back, we'll close with Namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, light, truth, and peace. When I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, we are one. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for Surya Namaskara today. I'm Grace with Ecstatic Yoga, wishing you a most beautiful and most blessed day. Oh, thank you for the hearts.